Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another update from my peptide journey. This is where I am taking CJC 1295 and ipamorelin because I saw people talking about how great it was all over TikTok, but I couldn't find any regular people talking about how great it was. Everybody talking about how great it was selling it. So I thought, you know what? I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I'm going to try it, and I'm documenting here to kind of let you know how this is going for me. Maybe it'll help you figure out if this is something that's worth it for you. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe because I got a bunch of other previous videos, almost a weekly update talking about what I was going through during my first cycle and then whenever my rest month hit. So go watch all of those other videos. So there's two side effects that I want to talk about that I didn't expect. One of them I can attribute for sure to the peptides. The other one I'm not real sure. And that's big because in my previous videos I've talked about I'm very slow to give credit to these peptides for anything that I'm experiencing because I need a sufficient amount of time and proof and whatnot to be able to say, yeah, that's because of the peptides. The deeper sleep was the one thing in cycle 1 that I felt like was almost immediate that I could say, yeah, that's because of peptides. But here was the other one. I did not expect this. So towards the end of cycle 1, which was 2 months long, I started to have these feelings, and I didn't realize it at the time, or I didn't connect it with peptides. I just thought it was something I was going through, that I would get very irritable and very sort of like short-tempered. Like, so if something happened and I didn't expect that thing to happen, like, so if I was holding something, maybe I dropped it accidentally. In that moment, I was so aggravated and frustrated and just irritated by it. Almost like mad, but like, I'm not really a mad person, so it was like short of being short-tempered and short of being mad, but it was definitely something. It was very intense whenever it would happen. And when it was happening so frequently that my wife was like, you need to talk to like our therapist about this because you're obviously experiencing it, because I was telling her how I was feeling. And I said, it'll be all right, it'll go away and it'll pass. And it did. But what I didn't realize is when it passed happened to be in the middle of my in-between cycles, that month long where I'm not doing any peptides. I started to feel kind of normal again and more normalized and baselined, but I didn't equate it to the off time. At the end of week 2 of this cycle, it happened again. It started to feel, and something about the timing of it, I immediately went, oh, this is happening because of these peptides and the way that they're interacting with my hormones and my body. It's maybe similar to like roid rage when people take steroids and they have those things where they're quick to anger and have those same sort of bursts. These are probably, hopefully not as intense because I'm not angry, but I definitely feel intense emotions on a frustration level or irritability level in those moments. So that's something that I did not expect as a side effect of doing these peptides. So now I'm more aware of it whenever it's happening, try to be more mindful of it. But I thought you guys would find that to be interesting. I'm so busy keeping an eye on my muscle mass and my weight and my fat and all that stuff. I'm not looking at some of the peripheral stuff sometimes. And so it was kind of an interesting thing to come to a realization on. Here's the other side effect, and I'm not sure what to do with this yet because I am sure it's connected to what I'm doing, but I'm not sure how. So in the middle of week 2 of second cycle, well, actually, one of my earlier videos of this cycle, I mentioned that I'm not getting that burn or that warmth whenever I do my nightly injection shots. Every night of cycle 1, whenever I would do that nightly injection shot, probably 10 to 15 minutes later, my body would get warm, my heart would start to race a little bit, and I kind of got to the point where I enjoyed it. It felt like I was doing drugs right before bed. It just felt nice. I'm not getting that really at all on this cycle. I think, and I'm not sure, I'm going to have to ask my doctor at this point because I think maybe it's because I have become somewhat, it's in my system now, right? It's part of what I'm doing and it's part of what, so I might get it just a little bit. But what's interesting is my injection site, around week 2 this time, I started noticing itching and just almost like bumps, like where maybe if you got bit by a mosquito or something like that. There was just one, then there were 2, and like now there's like 3. And so I thought, well, that's weird, and they're just kind of itching. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go to the other side and do it over here. And sure enough, that's starting to itch a little bit too. I had none of that on the first cycle. So I'm going to have to ask my doctor about that. I'm not sure what that is. That's not a side effect of the peptides. Something's going on with the injections this time that didn't happen last time, but kind of a weird thing to experience. But again, I'm doing these videos, and I told you guys, whether it's a big thing or a small thing, just kind of sharing my journey with you to hopefully help give you some insight on what it's like as a person that's just like a regular person who's decided to take this on and give it a try. So that's it. Oh, by the way, somebody did ask me. But first of all, hey, you guys are asking so many great questions and interacting so much in the comments. I appreciate your knowledge, your advice, your questions, just the conversation in general, because I don't have all the answers. I'm not advocating for doing peptides. I'm part of this just weird random experiment. So I appreciate you guys' input in those comments. It's kind of making me think of some other things that maybe I wouldn't have thought of otherwise. So thank you guys very much. Somebody did ask me if I am experiencing any age reversing symptoms. I don't think so. I mean, somebody said on one of my other videos, not related to peptides, something about me looking younger. I have had a couple of youth at the gym talk to me recently, so I don't know if that's any sort of indication. They were just telling me that I am lifting heavy. I mean, and that's why those kids talk to me. I am pushing heavier weight, but I don't know if that's because of peptides. You guys know. I don't know if that's peptides or not. So anyway, subscribe if you want to watch. Go see my other videos from the beginning of this. I started documenting this every week, the things I was experiencing. I've got several videos of my in-body scans to show some of those results at the end of the first cycle, which I think you'll find quite interesting. But that's all. Again, thanks y'all so much for hanging with me during this journey. And that's it. We'll see you sometime during week 4. At the end of week 4, I'll be going and doing another in-body test to kind of see where we're at. So that's it. See ya. Peace out.